Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode of Prehistoric Kingdom. My name is Oak and today we are creating a Spinosaurus or Spino enclosure. So please enjoy the video. So normally when I create a enclosure I kind of already know what I want to do, like in the big shapes, like not exactly, but you know, I know the general gist of what I want to make. But for this enclosure I really had no idea. So I kind of went with the flow, which I found really interesting and a quite fun experience as well. So everything you are going to see today is just me in the moment, just thinking about what I want to do and not really planning anything. And I think you can see this in the end result, but I think it looks more natural or even like more random in a good way. So you'll just have to see. So of course, because you know I love waterfalls, I immediately went for a waterfall, and I had this kind of like vision in my mind where you had like two layers of waterfalls, one at the top and then one at the bottom, and kind of like the centerpiece of this enclosure, which I think you know could work pretty well in the end. So this water of course needed to go somewhere, so I added this little how do you call it, like river at the bottom, which would feed into the big lake that this map has naturally. So kind of like integrating the already existing map with the enclosure, I think really adds to the aesthetic of this particular enclosure. So you can see me often doing this, like placing a cutout of the dinosaur for reference, because these cutouts are actually as big as the real ones are. So yeah, I often use that as a kind of like reference of how I want to place things and how big things should be. So when I was building this little reservoir you can see at the left, and with the rocks, I thought it would be a fun idea to maybe kind of create a little like land bridge or stone bridge over this little section. And later on I realized it was a perfect place for maybe like a little half cave or kind of like a courtyard section for the Spino. So it could maybe sleep there and have a little privacy, which in the end, again, as you're going to see, really turned out quite fun. So I wanted the Spino to actually go to the top of the waterfall and maybe have the possibility to stand there. So it was kind of hard, like creating a pathway that the Spino could walk on. I tried a lot of things with the rocks, but in the end I just created these stairs with a rock texture to be able for the Spino to be able to climb like this little mountain, and I think it looks alright. As you maybe know, the Spino needs a lot of water in its enclosure because it is a partly aquatic animal. The only downside of the game is that we don't really have aquatic features yet, because I wanted to create like this little aquarium type deal, and there are ways to do it, but when the game updates it may not work because it's kind of like a glitch that you can use. So I just ended up with placing a big lake. As you can see over here, later on we're gonna add a few more bodies of water, but this is the main part basically. The rocks I'm placing over here are for the border. I wanted to create something similar to the mammoth episode, where you kind of have a like raised section for the visitors, and then you can look down on the Spino. Of course, it has two parts that I do this. It's one, it's for the viewing experience, and one for safety. And I wanted to create this border, and then I realized, of course, we have the river, which you can see me working on right here. But I wanted to add a sense of extra safety, so I added these bars, as you can see, kind of like the like Lord of the Rings, you know, the battle siege, the siege scene, where they eventually blow it up. But later on, it, as you can see in the video, it will not be as secure as I thought, but please have some patience with that. I will show you in a sec. And yeah, this is basically going to be the shape of the environment, or sorry, the enclosure. And yeah, I think that's a interesting shape because it's not square, and I'm becoming more and more a fan of like a more natural and more flowy type shape of enclosures. So here you can see me creating the walkway for the visitors. And I also wanted some more safety measures here, so I placed these high walls in this kind of same style as the rocks. So it's kind of like rustic, kind of like stony, basically. Just to add to the danger of this animal, because of course this is a very dangerous animal. So yeah, you have this like double like protection. You have the height and you have the high wall, which you know, adds to the danger sense of this animal, the Spino. And to cover up the hard edges of the terraforming, I just placed some plants there, which always works, of course. So I was just working on the enclosure when I noticed a keeper was walking inside of the enclosure, but I didn't add any doors. So I was kind of curious how he got in. Maybe I forgot to place a rock, or maybe I forgot to, I don't know, terraform a certain part. You can see me looking over here like, what's going on here? So I followed the keeper, and I noticed he was walking to the little gate thingy we made, a little barb, and he just, for some reason, just decided, you know, physics are not for me. I'm just going to walk straight to a metal pole and escape. So this is weird for two reasons. One, we have a solid object there, and two, I placed one of those invisible enclosure walls. So yeah, that was interesting. So I decided to place a door in the enclosure. So I gave them some, you know, good access to be able to, you know, feed the Spino and clean the enclosure and stuff. So, you know, I was looking at some suitable fences for this and some doors, which of course I did. I placed the most secure fences I had for this dino and a suitable door, which also kind of looked really cool. And you know, I thought that was it. That was the solution to my problem. But then I saw the following, and you are going to be able to see it as well in the corner at the right side there. He's still walking through the goddamn bars. So I don't know what the AI is thinking, but they are not thinking like a human. I guess that's why they are AI, of course. But it's just an issue I'm just going to let be, because, you know, what do you want me to do? Like, like, what could I possibly do? I could place like a fence there at the little passageway at the river thingy. But you know, it's fine. It's pretty funny as well. But I just thought this whole thing was hilarious. So actually, continue with the build. I decided to place down the foliage. This dinosaur, the Spino, sorry, really needs quite a few biomes to survive. So it was kind of a challenge to place it all where they looked good. But I think I managed. So I mainly placed like the wetlands. Plants near the water, and then the jungle like more inlandwards, and I created these little patches of foliage where they could, you know, elevate each other because they had the same biome, and I placed these like ferns at the edges of things where I think they looked pretty good. So inside the little cave we made, I placed down the sleeping places and also a little watering thing, which I think you know, looked pretty good, and of course he needed some sleep as well. So, and then I placed in our little Spino friend. So again, all the dinosaurs look so good in this game, and I think this one is not an exception. He looks so cool. Really like it. So after doing some few tweaks to the foliage, I decided to continue on the entrance part and the visitors part. So for the longest time I tried to make this natural staircase where the ground basically just kind of naturally went up, but it was really hard for me to do it and I don't know how to, so I just ended up using stairs, which is you know, fine. I had two entrances. This is the one from the Tyrannosaurus area, and I also created one before the Tyrannosaurus area, so you could kind of choose like where to go. So like I said, I've kind of struggled, but I ended up just making this type of like staircase with the ground just slowly moving up and kind of creating these plateaus, which in the end looked pretty decent, I guess. It works, so it's fine. So it can be kind of a climb to get to the top. I decided to put like a little restaurant down Later on I'm adding like a little seating place, so people could just rest and have again more of an incentive to actually go up those stairs instead of like first going to the T-Rex habitat and then, you know, maybe skipping the Spino enclosure. And then I just decided to put some foliage there at the borders of the visitor paths to just beautify it a bit more and just give it a bit more rough and you know, nature feel to it, which I think turned out okay. Later on I'm doing that now. I placed some rocks there to give the borders a bit more of a natural feel, which again turned out pretty good, I think. Doing the last finishing touches with adding some foliage and painting in the environment to give it a bit of a more natural feel to it, I ended up finishing this enclosure. So I'm really happy to show you guys this little enclosure, and I'm gonna give you the tour now, so please enjoy. Alright, so here we are, the intersection to the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus enclosure. So of course we're going to the T-Rex enclosure. Well, of course not, we're going to the Spinosaurus. So this is not really part of the enclosure. I don't really like this part right here, it's kind of ugly. But I am planning to do this in a separate episode. We'll have a few more enclosures where I can beautify the whole park. But you do have a little, you know, toilet thing here. You have some eating place where you can get something to eat and then, you know, sit down here. And maybe we can build, later on we can build something nice here. Maybe like a little garden thing where you can look at when you are, you know, eating. So if you continue through here, you get to the main part, of course, the Spinosaurus enclosure. So let's see if we can spot him. Where is he? Is he swimming? Huh, I don't see him. He's hiding. Well, we'll see him soon enough. So this is nothing too special. Just a walkway with some, you know, information signs and binoculars and donation boxes. Because of course we need money. Because we are playing in with money enabled. And I'm not seeing him. Where is he? Well, we'll see him in a sec. This is where you enter from the T-Rex enclosure. So you just looked at the T-Rex. If we can spot one of them. We cannot. That is just dandy. We're not seeing any dinosaurs today, I guess. And you enter through here, and then you know, you can hopefully see a dinosaur. Again, I'm not seeing him. So let's change that. I am going to enter from the keeper's side. So you have this little gate here. If we were to enter the way that the other keepers do, we will have to come through here. Which I can't even do. Oh, I can. Alright. But with some... it's not that easy. So we continue through here. We have the little waterfall. With some foliage over here. Kind of dense. But again, not again, but the dinosaur, the Spino, is pretty big. So that shouldn't matter. So you have the... basically the open area right here, and if you come through here you can get to the top part. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's sleeping. He's sleeping. Scary animal. So if you continue to here you get to the little meat pumpkin thingy, or meat, what is it? What's this called again? Blood pumpkin. There it is. So hopefully he will get up here and then roar, and you can see him from over there, which I think would be pretty cool. Over here you have this little iron thingy, and oh, this is kind of glitching out. I will fix it later, don't you worry. With a little pond where you can not really swim, but you know, some refreshments from the warm tropical days. If you continue through here, when we just walk down here, you get to the entrance of his little abode where he can sleep. Right here, and drink. And then he can immediately go into the water if he wants, which he's actually doing right now. We can walk on the water, by the way. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Scary and beautiful. So what I did here with the foliage, I created some less foliage over here, and I also created these little mud things, kind of like indicating that he is walking out here and then immediately going into the water. So kind of like he removed the or like stomped on the foliage right here, and it disappeared. I did that on a few places throughout the enclosure. So there he is, cool. And then over here you just have a small area with a bit more forests, just a bit more roomy enclosure, and away from the visitors, so he can get maybe a bit of rest. So yeah, you don't want this animal to become angry. The details are amazing, right? That's really cool. So yeah, that's this enclosure. Again, I created this kind of like on the go, which I thought was really fun to do for a change, because normally I kind of plan out what I want to do, but this time it was just I do whatever feels right in the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I hope you like them to watch them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, I guess. So yeah, again, leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends about this channel, about the mute dinosaur for some reason, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.